So my auntie made some. I wanted to think it was clam chowder. I don't know what she called it, but it's this portion right here is so good, so good. It got potatoes. It got imitation crab. Um, and I got some sausages. I still got my seafood. We had a seafood boil, so I still got my bags. But yeah, I'm currently watching Ray, and it just reminds me of how passionate that movie is. It brings me back, to what I used to wonder about. At first I thought that his brother, when he fell into the tub, idea sparked to me, and I'm just like, maybe he was blind um as a punishment because he didn't speak out to his mom about what happened. But then I thought about it again, and I'm just like, well, maybe he's seen too much, because of the simple fact that he seen his brother in that tub falling. He didn't see the fall, but he seen him in a tub drowning. But the fact that he was standing there watching as if something else got his attention, like something was speaking to him, or that moment was speaking to him, and he was really, really young. Um, and that's the thing about kids. I was sitting in church and I was just looking at this little girl. I'm just like, well, this little baby boy, and I'm just like, wow, you know, kids are very vulnerable to the situation. If you really observe and pay attention, you'll kind of get a sense of the energy in the room. You know, we may be kind of stagnant to that energy, but just watch the kids and see how they react, you know. So that's what I thought. I'm like, wow, you know, that's what that may just be what happened. God seen potential in that little boy, and that potential, his sight, he had to blind him so that he could preserve those eyes, you know. And that's what I'm saying. In church, this guy was talking about how it's so unfair, how life is so unfair because we're put in situations where we are taken on what, like, we don't meet the expectations or the standards of other people. So therefore, we don't get to have as many friends as another person has. God put you in situations so that you don't get into trouble. God loves you that much to where God has to preserve you because you are one of God's chosen ones. And Ray Charles was definitely a chosen one of God's. Um, Another thing is, you know, when it comes to, at first, Ray was doing God's work, until the devil got the best of him. But Ray was definitely doing God's work, and um, he was praying, just like when the white man, his manager, walked into the room. Well, he wasn't his manager yet, but he walked into the room. And he was like, "I'm in church. What you want?" He was reading the Bible with his hands. Um, but God was speaking to him through his eyes. And that's the thing about God. God needed Ray Charles' vision. And that was the gateway to Ray Charles. And that's what happened, you know. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at with that movie. But yeah, we about to get into this because it's really, really good. You know, I don't know what she did here, but oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Mm. The imitation crab. That's what I love about my aunt's cooking. She throws stuff in there. She throws stuff together, and you just know it's gonna hit for real. Mm. 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 Yeah, a little lobster shell in here. And that's the thing. The guy was talking about attraction for real. You know, sometimes you gotta face your flaws. God makes it to where you have to face those flaws. You have to deal with whatever you was afraid of dealing with. You have to face your fears. You gotta know that God is working on you, and you gotta trust the process. You gotta trust the process. Mm. I'm tasting cream cheese. And I've been craving it. There's something thick and sweet in here. I'm guessing cream cheese. Another imitation crab. Mm. 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 Okay. I'm getting full. I have to put this up. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about for now. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.